Greetings, everybody, and I welcome all of you here to Global Speedrun Association on round 2 of the World Peace Tournament with today's match between Dangers and TiloTech. Today, I am joined by Awesome Agron on commentary.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I'm hyped for this match. I think this is Danger's first appearance, first showing here in this tournament. Coming in as maybe one of the heavy favorites, but we're going to be seeing all about that as he actually gets into this match. So practicing some interesting strats right there. We're obviously going to get into these later on. But while we do have these runners in the call right now, I want to take the chance and talk to them real quick here. Let's start with Dangers. Dangers, how do you feel about today's matchup? How do you feel about World Peace? I think currently still being the world record holder in version 1.2, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. I nabbed that right before the tournament started, more or less. But yeah, I feel pretty solid about World Peace. Was doing some runs yesterday, and I feel rather confident with my consistency. You can see I'm just trying to get this new route down. That's probably the only thing that's going to be of a nervous point for me, but I feel like I've messed it up enough times to have a backup for it anyway, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, this sand rod definitely being a little bit tricky as far as controlling all of these bullet builds goes and being on the right cycle all times. Obviously, some pretty finicky strats with Dram and this cage break that you're currently doing coming in there as well, making things just a little bit harder.
Indeed.
But let me talk to Tylo right here. Tylo, what is up? I think I've already been commentating races from you in the any percent category, and I've been seeing your climb there, but I think you've I don't know how long if you've been playing World Peace at all. Actually, I didn't get to cast your first race here, but yeah, tell me about your World Peace experience and about how you feel today about this race.
Let's see. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm really confident in World Peace yet. I haven't done too many runs of it. But I did do my first World Peace after my first 105, which is quite a long time ago, and I haven't really touched the category since, except the race I had for like a week ago. I've been practicing a little bit for the last week, just because I was going up against Dangers, you know. He's the kind of the world record holder, so I had to prepare pretty
no big deal.
Yeah,
to be able to have a chance, I guess.
it does make sense. Do you enjoy the category at all? I feel like as an any percent runner myself, at least previously, it has been a lot of fun to kind of see a little bit more of the game and see some different strats. So is it like just like how do you feel about the category in general?
I do feel like going away from any percent for a bit feels pretty good. I mean, I've been kinda just grinding that category ever since I've started.
Yeah.
So being able to do something else in the game feels really good. It makes me motivated to do other stuff than just any percent, and it makes me better. You know, I get to get better at the game in itself, not just completing the game as fast as possible, but also getting other stuff like darker side or dark side, and also World Peace. Pretty interesting to run. Looking forward to this race, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's gonna
can't
be
really
interesting.
say I'm super confident in myself, but I'll try to make the best out of it. And
Don't
see how
worry.
And
You
that's
got
all
this-
you
the
can do,
seaside-
man.
The
Yeah.
seaside boss is going to be nice to you. You're going to be having this in the hands, and I think we are good to go on our end here. So as soon as Danger is ready with his practice, which I'm just going to cut him short here and force him to go back to the title screen. You guys are
Indeed, yeah.
free to leave the call and yeah, get the match underway. Best of luck to both of you.
All right,
Alrighty.
good luck,
Good luck,
Tyler.
guys.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, Egon, it's back to us, the washed up round 1 losers of this tournament. But let me tell you one
Yeah,
thing,
don't
guys.
worry about it.
We did this on purpose because we are basically just low-key grinding the task that's gonna be popping off this Saturday. That we basically lost on purpose, so we could grind the task and become first and second. So you guys are gonna be seeing that soon. But
Actually,
yeah.
no joke. I was grinding that a little bit while we were waiting.
I've been looking into it. So it is quite hard for me to enjoy. So I'm not even sure if I'm actually going to submit this week. But obviously, there are going to be more tasks coming up. This is like not one of my heard ones because basically what I'm really into music, and this task forces you to have the same music playing all the time because you cannot change it, and it's getting really annoying. So not sure if I'm gonna be going with that, but however I am.
It's Moon Cave.
Yeah, and I am very interested, obviously, in watching the results. I might not submit myself, but we'll see. For now, though, what I'm definitely going to be watching here is the race between DDangers and TiloTech as they both head over to Cap Kingdom to start off their journey.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously, Cap Kingdom being exactly the same as in any percent, just got to get through the place, beat Topper of the Cap Tower, and then get over to Cascade Kingdom. And I do think that DDangers actually has like a 222 gold, which is actually pretty good gold. It's like any percent level gold. And it does make sense, obviously, since he has been playing World Peace for a long time. And I think he also has like a 105 in any percent, which is pretty decent.
Yep, that's like, what, 2 seconds off the best cap?
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, I guess Danstar has an official 219 now, which is just insane.
Yes, but, that's right. Dance to the cap god.
Yeah, I mean, he himself being a Cooper freerunner, going for all these very small and very even unknown optimizations, for some people unknown it is. It does make sense, and he has been literally grinding the kingdom, which in my opinion, I couldn't have done that. So definitely respects to him. But for now, TiloTech coming out a little bit on top here, being the more frequent 80% runner, probably just resetting more to the kingdom.
Well, I mean, half of this is any percent, so we'll see how much of that gives an advantage to him.
It is true. I feel like, though, in any percent, you can tend to kind of reset more. As DDangers actually fails left side, and I think even the failed left side could make a World Peace runner reset, as Tylo takes damage there on Topper. But I feel like World Peace is a little bit more lenient. You wouldn't reset immediately to one mistake in Cap, as most top any percent runners would do that.
Correct. Absolutely.
But yeah, DDangers actually coming out on top here after a missed left side attempt. Tylo, because of his little meeting there with Topper as he took damage there, lost a little bit more time to that. And this is actually why I personally, if someone asks me with like a mid-tier time on where he can improve, I feel like boss fights are such a big deal because these missed phases end up in such a big time loss. But let's get into Cascade Kingdom now, because we are not going to be seeing any FMS here, I think. DDangers is definitely on version 1.2, and I do not know if he talked with Tylo in advance that Tylo's going to be allowed to do first moonskip. It looks like he is allowed to do so. Probably something these runners talked about in... Oh,
wait, what?
In advance. Maybe there was also some miscommunication as we do get an interesting message in here.
So
right
Tyler
now.
just did FMS, but Danger said no FMS. But I guess the race is still happening, so I guess there was.
Yeah, I mean, if that wasn't previously talked about, you cannot blame Tylo here, because he was literally on the rock, as Dangerous said that in the group DM here. So nothing he could have really done. There's no way he could have reacted to that. So if Dangerous didn't explicitly forbid first moonskip here, I think it's actually his own fault. I mean, that's definitely something he can obviously recover from, because he does have more experience in the category. But it's gonna be a little lead here for Tyler, as he actually did get it first try.
Yeah, we will see what happens. Definitely Tylo having that 25-second advantage will definitely be, well, in his advantage. Should have said that.
Yeah. It's gonna come
mistakes
up.
happen.
Exactly. And it's gonna come up to he might not even be the entire 25 seconds. I guess it's technically 24 if you use like precise timings. But if he might not even be that full time ahead, because it's obviously up to the additional moon that he's going to be getting. And I'm actually interested if Dangerous is opting to take the chest moon over the cliff here, even though he is on 1.2, since we did previously talk about how this chest moon can potentially be done a little bit quicker than the cliff if you go for one of these fast chest clips.
That is true. The chest clip does make chest a little more viable on 1.2.
But Tylo definitely having to get both here. So let's see if he can make this clip work. Looks pretty good. Warps a decent amount up into the ceiling there and makes it back to the globe. So yeah, definitely solid lead there, obviously off of the first moon skip.
Oh yeah, something that I noticed about Tylo's FMS is that he didn't opt to do the easier strat that was found recently. Maybe he just doesn't know.
Nah, I wouldn't say so, because it's definitely not easier if you didn't practice it. I feel like for me the normal FMS is still way easier, but the water FMS is just way faster if you get it first try, because it allows yourself to be very fast without any advanced strats. However, I feel like the rock FMS is still way easier. Because I mean, it is because I practice it so much, so I cannot blame Tylo here. I think we've seen many just to stick to the rock FMS because of their consistency and their muscle
Potentially, yeah. But I feel like the waterway might be safer for races overall once people practice it.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure. I think it's something you can probably gain more consistency at. However, I feel like backups on the water FMS can be really, really tough. You can, like, we all know Mario's water movement, and especially trying to set up like a cap return jump there without like any surface around you can be quite weird. And there's obviously the water's like going towards the waterfall, so it's working against you. But coming up here is going to be Sand Kingdom. We see if TiloTech is actually aware of the fastest route here, and maybe potentially also the fast bird grab strat.
Tylo kind of going for a fast bird grab?
Yeah. Probably one of the faster versions you can go for.
Yeah, like kind of half did it.
However, he is going to be getting the Dune Moon here, which is currently not the most optimal route anymore. I'm pretty sure DDangers is going to be skipping out on that one completely and going to be heading straight over to Arcway, which is the moon that Tylo's currently getting.
Danger's going for those dangerous bird strats.
Gets that one just fine. And as I said, he's going to be getting over to Archway. Immediately going to be getting some more moons in nighttime. Tylo here.
Yeah, which is going to be a bit interesting to see, because Dangers is going to be getting less moons in the first half, but more in the second half. So we'll see how that works timing-wise later on.
So another really interesting dynamic that's going to be coming in here very soon is just Dangers actually misses the Gram strat there. So he needs to basically climb back into the alcove and make it back without any bullet bill warps.
Ooh,
so
that's going to hurt.
Definitely losing some time there on that part. He's going to be grabbing that checkpoint right now, so let's hope this goes well, because you cannot really miss it if you do. The route
this is definitely tricky, but Dangerous nails it.
It's going to be close, though, because he did stall a little bit in the ground, but let's see if he can actually make it over, just barely getting out there. And Tylo, for some reason, is doing the 1.2 IP clip setup while being on 1.0. Very interesting.
Tylo, you can just use the left side.
Dangerous 1.2. Also trying to clip into the inverted pyramid here. Tylo probably actually falling behind here. Looks like he actually doesn't really know the 1.0 setup for this clip.
Well, I guess Dangerous is going to take the lead with a fast 1.2 IP clip. I believe that was 4th try, which is pretty good. Getting that clip within 10 tries on 1.2 is what I consider good.
Well, I think we are going to be here for some time, because I'm pretty sure clipping on the right side there is really, really tough, if even possible at all. I'm not completely sure. 1.0 IP clip is definitely way easier if you just go for the left side of like I guess that's TiloTech's mouth. It's probably doable in the first 3 attempts, but Tylo maybe potentially thinking he's on the wrong version. Maybe he's just not aware of the 1.0 setup, though.
Maybe Tylo just doesn't know that the left side is easier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
1.0.
Yeah.
I don't even think doing it on the left side on 1.2 is possible, so...
I've never seen anybody do that, and that might actually be a problem here. Dangerous goes for a very fast strat there over to fight Harriet.
Dangerous going for that cool roll cancel strat. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so this might actually become a problem, because Tylo potentially gets through the wall.
Well, Tylo's finally into the pyramid. I think that took about a minute. Potentially more. I wasn't exactly keeping track of how long that was.
I feel like
oh my.
whenever you watch a lot
Alright, well, I guess it's probably a good thing you did FMS, because at least it's still race. Alright.
Alright, so Danger's fighting Harriet without any issues there. As Tyler's probably going to be getting the secret of the inverted mural here, which is just a tiny bit slower moon than the other one he potentially has access to, but it's a pretty easy one to get, obviously.
Yeah, it looks like Tyler is keeping comfortable with the old World Peace route. I don't blame him if he hasn't been running the category for that much.
Yeah, and Tylo, even though he technically does have a pretty big advantage when it comes to these roll cancel clips, and obviously there's 2, potentially 3 pretty big ones here playing into the results of this race's outcome. The first one definitely didn't really work in his favor. However, every setup that works on 1.2, like every at least position that works on 1.2 for snow clip works on 1.0, and it's just easier. So I'm assuming he's going to be getting some advantages there. Danger's actually crashing his bullet bill into the wall, definitely losing some additional time.
Small time loss, but not the biggest deal in the world.
Trying to cut the corners optimally there to be able to catch the second bullet bill as it's shooting out of the cannon. I think he's going to be able to catch this one. This is the one
very nicely done, showing off the sand route. Exits the bullet bill while it is manipulated to drive toward the cage, breaks the cage, and then he can just fly through and grab the moon. So an optimization. Meanwhile, TiloTech is just finished with Harriet. Ooh, Danger's sliding down the sand slope. It's gonna cost a little bit of time. 5 or 6 seconds.
Ooh, very nice spin pound there from Dangers, entering the ice cave here, and I do really like his movement here for this place. This is something I personally copied from him. The double rolls there. As Danger's actually...
Okay, he tries to save it, but unfortunately... Didn't realize that he already got the Goomba Moon there. Goes for the first bullet jump. And he gets it. Good.
And this is something that just recently was figured out again, abusing this faster strats with the bullet bill. You want to be actually not holding the acceleration button at all, because that somehow overrides the fast speed you get off of shaking. So if you just shake, only holding Y at the very start, you'll be a little bit faster. As Dangerous captures the bullet bill optimally here, just barely hits the arena. Tylo missing the bullet bill trick, but playing it safe with the long jump start, so he's going to be able to dive on top of the cannon. Not going to be falling down anytime.
Tylo going for the underground chest, since he's still on old route.
It does seem like a fast moon, right? But it's just obviously that the moon has to spawn out of the chest, and we need to climb this, and the bullet bill is obviously so fast that you can just fly all the way through to the entrance.
A little bit out of the way.
And that's kind of like a common theme now. Obviously, there is these set checkpoints that we have to visit in World Peace, obviously being the boss fights and the story events, at least in some places. So we can only really afford to get the fastest moons on the way.
Yep. The very fastest, even if it's a second slower, might be routed out.
So Danger's definitely having built up a pretty consistent lead so far.
Danger's looking up at the moon, saving some time there.
having it be available to him a little bit earlier. But Danger's having built up a pretty solid lead so far is definitely going to be still decently happy with the send. Probably not the dream send he wanted, failing especially some parts of the newer route. But obviously Tylo paying up big for the mistakes on IP clip.
Yep. Tylo has been playing it pretty clean, even if he's been playing a little bit safe at some parts.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, just fighting TiloTech once again, being one of these quote-unquote auto-scrolling bosses. There's these phases that you cannot really speed up, especially the ones where you need to wait for him to pull off his moves. But Danger's already off to his Lake Kingdom visit.
Well, believe it or not, I mean, you can speed up the boss a little bit, because when you roll towards the boss, like, as soon as you roll past the fist, like, that signals the boss to move on to the next phase. So if you're rolling towards the fist, it actually does save a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Which both of them did do, so they are both knowledgeable of that.
Yeah. And then, once again, let's just quickly touch on Lake right now, as both of these runners are going to be visiting Lake Kingdom next. If you guys have watched any percent at all, okay, that was kind of a double there, but if you guys have watched any percent, it's going to be the same route that we currently, at least right now, use in any percent real-time attack, but
Lake does not
around. Exactly. In World Peace, you definitely obviously need to take out the boss, so there's not going to be any late clips here, and any percent ever they're going to be used eventually, but World Peace, you got to take out Rango.
So now we get a better idea of how big of a lead Dangers has right now. It's about 40-ish seconds.
Mm-hmm. Definitely something that he's probably not going to be looking to throw in Lake, as the only option would probably be a death to Rango, which is something you do want to avoid at all costs, not only for the sake of the race, but only for the sake of your honor.
Do not die to Rango. It's not fun.
All right,
but I'm sure we've all been there at one point.
Dude, I said this last time. People should just play the game. Everybody at some point will literally die to every boss. So just don't get scared of it. Yeah, I mean, it happens, dude. I've died to Festival like twice a stream. But the thing is...
We will get to Torque Drift eventually.
We will. And all I'm going to say is you cannot get scared off of these steps. They will happen eventually, but they should not mess with your confidence, because if they do, you actually really lost. But if they just don't touch you and you acknowledge that they're going to be happening, that's probably the best way to go about them.
Absolutely. You just have to play your very best, even if they happen.
Yeah, just go for the strats, you know, be confident. If you die, laugh about yourself and do it again, and do it better next time.
Yep, pretty much.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure, Egon, you were about right when we were talking about these 40 seconds. It might actually just be a tiny little bit more, maybe around like 45.
Ooh.
Well, now actually pretty much it's going to be around 50 seconds as Tylo misses.
Probably closer to a minute now. Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Getting in there. And would it being a kingdom entirely different than any percent is probably going to be in Danger's hands here.
Absolutely.
For sure.
As we will see soon, Dangers does some pretty crazy stuff with the out-of-bounds movement that was found recently with Nutclip.
Exactly. Alright, Tylo being done here with Rango. No deaths. Good on him. Dangers entering Wooded right now. And I'm actually pretty sure that Dangers is at least going to be trying to pull off what we right now at least call the gate skip, which is a way of using Nutclip to skip the animation of the gate opening to the main section of Wooded, and also skipping the uproot capture and getting to the cliff nut immediately. It's actually very scary because you can easily fall to the deep woods, which is a very punishing place.
Yeah, that would be very bad for a race. Dangers did have a little bit of trouble with the rock, but he caught it, and he's still able to get the moon out of it, so that's good.
Alright, so Danger's gonna be coming up to nut clip here. You
Alright, moment
guys
of truth.
might know all about this. Pretty scary. 80%. That actually looks quite good. I think he might have gotten the clip. So right now it's up to him not messing up here. This is going to be quite scary as he long jumps over here. He needs to get over this invisible wall and gets it just fine.
Got it.
I'm pretty sure this is the first time someone showed this off here so far. Obviously, we do have these higher caliber runners in the second round. They did get a bye, but this is a strat that saves around 6 to 7 seconds if done correctly.
Yeah, it's about 7 seconds. Something interesting about the way Dangers did it was not only did he skip the gate, but he also did the out of bounds movement to get up to the upper level. You can just skip the gate and save what I think is 4 seconds, but Dangers did the second part, which is getting on the top without having to use the up route.
Yeah, in my opinion, if you're going to be going for that at all, it might just be better to do the whole thing. Obviously, actually, it's so underrated how slow this uproot capture can really be. And if you want to play it safe, it's probably best just to nut clip and then spin throw and just go to the gate. Tylo actually also setting up here for shenanigans outside of the wall, and he's just going to be skipping the wall, which is something that I actually would recommend if you're not confident at it.
Alrighty, for a second there, I thought we were going to see another gate skip.
Yeah, this is a World Peace exclusive time save, so any percent runners might not notice these movements, which they are quite precise, and they can be very
Darker side can also do it.
That is true, that is true.
As most things done in World Peace can translate to Darker Side.
Alright, Dangers fighting Spewart now. Done with towers, done with the pretty sketchy parts of Wooded, especially the ones that can be very punishing on your time. Tylo is about to do Flower Road Skip. I think Dangers missed Flower Road Skip once and then just decided to take the Flower Road, which is definitely one of the smarter decisions he could have taken, because Dev's there obviously slow.
Absolutely. If you don't get FRS the first time, you might as well just take the Flower Road.
Yeah, it's literally not worth anymore. It doesn't even save that much. It's definitely a cool looking trick, but doesn't save enough to be trying it for like 6 seconds.
It's not worth your sanity.
I agree, and Tyler just barely getting it on the very edge of the railing there.
Ooh, that was close, but hey, whatever works.
Yeah, he's over there, and in any percent, you are kind of safe, but in World Peace, you actually need to redo this if you were to fail Tower Skip here, because Tower Skip is a quite precise jump as you start out playing. Tylo getting it though, nicely.
Excellent. No falls to the tower skip. That is fortunate. It's not a very difficult trick, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it can be very punishing.
Oh, it is very punishing if failed.
And Dangers with some pretty hot movement here as he's entering what I'm going to be calling just... I'm still not sure. I thought I was going to call it dark wooded, because it's definitely not night wooded. It's not really night, it's like foggy. But fog wooded, I mean, let's not get too much into this. Can be misunderstood, if you know what I mean. So I think I'm just going to be calling it dark wooded.
Alrighty. Ooh, that was interesting. So, yeah, as you saw there, the optimal strat there is to pound the nut when you cancel the rocket flower.
Is it
Dangers
really
actually
though?
missed that the first time. Well, I mean, yes, you could do flower refresh.
Exactly. The optimal strat that is for sane people would be to just ground pound the nut, but it is possible to refresh your rocket flower duration. It's something we have only seen Egbert go for yet, and even he did miss it. I think he only pulled it off like twice ever. So
Accurate
definitely
is
something. And I think like it's not even
those types of strats are pretty ridiculous.
It's not even about being ridiculous. I feel like it's literally, the timing is so precise, it gets close to like the seaside thing, where you need to hit like 2 frames. It might not be 2 frames here, it's probably more and more lenient, but it's still almost luck. Like, skill doesn't play the biggest factor in something like that, and it doesn't even save much time at all, because you obviously don't really get to use much of the fire flower, as Tylo always almost runs to the poison room right there.
Oh, yeah. Dangerous just did a really cool strat. When I'm always in a stream, I'm just like, wow, that strat's so cool.
Yeah, I stole
I
it.
always try to pull it off every run I do. And
I stole it. I learned how to count the rolls there. If you do 5 rolls
twice.
If you do 5 rolls, this is actually pretty consistent. Where you do 5 rolls and then buffer the spin pound to spin pound down to the fight area. The distance between actually starting to fall and the loading zone, I mean, at least the zone where you can control Mario anymore, is not too big, so it doesn't save much, but it is definitely sick looking.
Yeah, we will see how Torque Drift goes for both of these runners. I have some salt with Torque Drift right now, but I'll get over it.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is annoying. I don't know, I actually didn't watch what happened to you, but I feel like the easiest way to die to him is like miss one of these core sections of these brick blocks and then start hitting his hitbox. But I mean,
that's pretty much what happened. I couldn't hit the last hit in time, and it was on the last phase too, so I lost the full time. I had to redo the whole fight.
Jesus. Yeah, definitely the most annoying part. I think Dangers is pretty aware of this boss fight. He kind of starts turning. He's fast enough to have him not even turn at all. But if you let him turn, it is kind of smart to just start extending legs a little bit on the right side, because he will always be turning counterclockwise, which is something that might be interesting for people trying to get into this category. Yeah, Danger's already done with Torque Drift here. Pretty good fight, pretty good wooded overall. Didn't really see too many mistakes. Just some unoptimal stuff happening to him there, basically on the fence nut. But other than that, that's definitely solid performance here in Wooded Kingdom. Alright, so Dangers is going to be off to Cloud Kingdom. Going to be fighting Bowser over there, his first appearance as a boss in the game. As Tilo is still finishing up. Torque Drift here being on 3 HP should be fine, unless he does get triggered and he does get actually annoyed by these guys' hitboxes.
We'll
and this is exactly what we were talking about.
Oh my god, I'm having flashbacks.
Getting the flashbacks. I mean,
Okay.
I think he's gonna be fine, but...
Okay, I think he's okay. Okay, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, that's what Eggman and I were referring to, as it's really easy to actually extend your legs through the entire block and then get hit by the main boss's hitbox, which is something you're usually not supposed to even hit at all, because, I mean, it does make sense usually.
Yeah, that happened to me twice. Well, no, I guess 3 times during my race, and I ended up dying to Torque Drift.
Well, let's forget about this one. Happens to the best. We did mention this before. As Dangers is going to be fighting Bowser, he's going to be using obviously the same strats as top any percent runners would do here. Just manipulating Bowser just a little bit to have him jump only one space here, one cloud space. Saving some time over that, and obviously also going to be using the fast head grab strats. And yeah, looking at this right now, probably still looking at slightly above a minute as far as the lead goes here, which is
might be a little more than that.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud is usually like 1 minute and 30 seconds, and Tylo basically already begun his Cloud split. So it might be like 1 minute and 10 seconds maximum, which is something that is still recoverable out of.
My guess.
That seems unlikely, because Cloud is only like a 1 minute 30 split. However, even if it was a minute 20, this is still something that Tyler could recover from with all of these boss fights and all of these lengthy sections like the festival coming in here. Maybe Danger is going to be losing in Bound Ball. I mean, we don't know. I mean, that's probably the most unlikely thing to happen. But yeah, this is long from over. As
all
we
you have
pretty
to do
much...
is just the lap 3 glitch.
Yeah, and you lost. But this is far from over, as Danger pretty much barely just hit the 33% mark as far as the category goes. Tylo already being on low battery, he might actually be needed to refill his controller.
Can fill him between cutscenes.
This Bowser fight does look just fine. Danis is also going to be using the fastest lost route, which just happens to be the any percent lost route, because all we need to do in any percent is get out of the place.
Yep, no changes to Lost in World Peace. Exactly the same.
And yeah, I feel like Lost is always going to be scary. It's never going to change, even though it is such a fast kingdom, and if it goes well, it looks like every movement was calculated. it is always going to be scary because one missed input is either going to result in a klepto trigger or like a death.
Yeah, Lost is still by far one of the scariest kingdoms in this game. Not necessarily it's like difficult, but it's very punishing if you mess up.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to change, like, ever. Danger's actually deciding to go for the triple jump cage, as he does take damage there, so he's going to be either needed to
I think
redo
he's
this.
just going to get stone cage.
Just a faster moon at this point, so definitely the right decision.
I do not blame him for doing that. Cage triple is a difficult strat.
Yeah, I feel like at this point it was also faster. Like, Cage wouldn't have even been faster anymore because he needed to, like, the tripetal would need to, like, rewind and stuff. So probably actually the better choice just to Stone Cage.
Yeah.
At that point. Triple jump cage is the faster moon when you start off at this side of Lost, but as soon as he missed it, it was probably better to just go for the Stone Cage.
Personally, I'm still getting Stone Cage, but that's just me.
Yeah, so I was actually planning to learn triple jump cage, but now that I've been doing World Peace, it feels even less worth it because the run is even longer, and suddenly these 2 seconds don't really seem too worth it anymore. But it's something that does interest me.
How much time does it save?
Like 2 seconds. Like, I mean, it's hard to say as always because there's like really sick movement that you can do for Stone Cave, where it turns out that Stone Cave is only like half a second slow, but that movement is really hard and requires to do like a triple jump into the bridge moon. But
right.
Like in general, you'd save like 1.5 seconds, I say, on triple jump cage over Stone Cave.
Interesting. Alrighty. Dangers entering Night Metro.
Yeah. And Night Metro is just a little bit different. Tylo actually taking it that he has acquired the moon already though, so he's gonna be free to leave.
Yeah, like Wimkeep was saying, Night Metro is mostly the same, but there is one difference.
Yeah, pretty shiny one.
The swaying breeze moon in Night Metro in World Peace.
Exactly, which is the one just
the one
above
that
like the construction
about
work.
to get right now. Yep, there it is.
And yeah, Tylo right now definitely actually catching up on him. This is one of the
very punishing mistake.
This is probably one of the worst falls that Dangers could have taken here. Already basically in the city, and Tylo definitely using Lost to his advantages to catch up a little bit. So yeah, Dangers definitely probably shocked about this.
Yeah, I think what Dangers was trying to do there was a spin pound out of the corner, and then into another spin pound, and then into the hall.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's cool movement, but it might not be worth it with that type of risk.
Yeah, it is actually really weird to get into the city hall.
Dangers is having a rough time in Night Metro.
Oh yeah, for sure. And City Hall is, he definitely needs to calm himself down right now because being shaky or like being nervous in City Hall is never gonna actually result in something positive because having a mistake here is so punishing. So let's see how this goes.
Do not have a city fall.
A city fall? Okay, I like that one.
The last thing you want.
I'm actually gonna steal that one. Okay, but yeah, Tylo definitely showing off why this movement is quite awkward as he bonks himself, and I feel like getting into City Hall after swinging the breeze is really awkward. But Dangers ended up not having any city falls, so he's off to Mecha Wiggler. But Tylo's certainly catching up on him just by
so now they are exactly one City Hall apart.
Yeah, which is probably around like 40 seconds right now.
That is wild considering how long Tylo has spent in front of that pyramid.
It really is. And obviously Danger's probably having, like, overall the better kingdoms here, also using the help me out, dude. The gate skip. I didn't really give you much clues on what I was going to say, but
yeah, I was like, wait, what is he trying to say? He didn't really give me any hints.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's on me.
Cool, man.
But Danger's off to do the actual interesting cycle of Mecha Wiggler. Yes, Tylo's actually on the first cycle, interesting dynamic. Danger's really doesn't want a 3 cycle here. This is the one thing, and this is actually looking very bad so far. I'm not sure if he can make this work. This might actually be a 3 cycle. Oh!
Oh, that's
with the clutch shots there. Barely making that 2-cycle work. Jesus.
Wow, that was very close. I don't think I don't really think it's as close as I've cut it before, but that was really close.
Yeah, this is almost something that you'd refer to as the glitchler, because the Wiggler is going to be in the state where he's basically recovering, but he's still dying. So Tilo definitely... I was about to say with the better 2-cycle. It was still the better 2-cycle, but his last shot was a little bit sloppy there.
Tylo had a pretty clean Mecha Wiggler.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, saving time here over Dangers, and Scoot Clip being one of the next interesting tricks here. Might even change this one up a little bit more.
Slowly closing the gap. This is interesting.
Alright, so first
Going
moon,
for the Metro Jam.
one of the easier ones to get here as far as these capture warps go, but Scoot Clip, however, can be quite tricky. They're just actually missing it here on his first try, so he needs to calm down now, and he can't really rush this resetup, but kind of being a little bit too fast again, so... Trying again here, and gets it on his, I guess, third try, but this is certainly...
Third try isn't the worst. Especially since you keep the scooter in World Peace, so it's not as bad, I feel, if you take multiple tries. It's still very bad.
Definitely.
Wouldn't keep confirming that sewer clip is a no.
I mean, I haven't confirmed it, as Tyler actually also misses the scooter clip. So not really saving any time here. They're just pretty much having the exact same. Literally, okay, it's actually getting a little bit worse.
So the worse. Come on, Tyler.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Alright. Yeah,
he makes it in.
You just had to realign the situation.
Yeah, I was just gonna make sure that
Tylo being a hero of the people, getting bench friends. That has recently been cut out of the route.
Yeah.
But it is still a good alternative.
Since there was no real discussion about allowing FMS censure or anything, and I don't think there was any explicit sayings on allowing or disallowing sewer clip, I was just gonna make sure if that's actually gonna be happening, because I feel like getting bench friends kind of makes you think that he would be skipping the sewer moon.
Either that or he's just uncomfortable with the new route additions.
Yeah, but getting bench friends over glittering above the pool doesn't really make sense for me.
It's probably the latter.
Yeah. We see how this one is going to play out. I'm actually very sad that I missed Dangers. He did get the guitarist first, and I'm pretty sure that he was going for the strat there with the capture warp back to the partner. I did not see if he had gotten it, so if I missed it, I'm actually very sad. But chat definitely popped off if it happened.
I don't think I saw a capture warp.
Yeah, it would be quite eye-catching, I feel like, so might have missed it or not even went for it. But this is one of the more scarier jumps here. They just tries to make it over to the trumpeter there.
Alright, trumpeter jump. Just a couple long jumps across a gap in a city, no big deal. And he gets it.
At least not for making that one look easy. As Tylo is hugging the streetlights here a little bit. These structures can be quite annoying.
Yeah, definitely using the pulls around Metro to gain momentum quickly to get to the guitarist is the optimal strat, but it can be really annoying if you fling yourself into like a street lamp.
Oh yeah, for sure. So as Danish is gonna be trying his best here in the sewers, I'm actually interested when I saw, okay, Tylo skipping the glittering above the pool moon, which I can see, because after these IP attempts, I don't think it would be the best idea to try sewer clip. No hate at all, but sewer clip is definitely one of the hardest clips in the game, and if you don't feel on point with your clips, that's
sewer clip might be the hardest clip in the game. We're not entirely sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been messing with like a clip next to the treasure chest in snow that you can also potentially use to clip into bound, but it would be way slower. But this is like ridiculous.
I saw that actually.
Yeah, it's like a ridiculous clip. It's it felt like literally coin flips on 1.0 that is. So I mean, there's a lot of hard clips. These pipe clips in general, though, the one in sand and the one here in the sewer tend to be pretty hard. At least harder than swing slip or like IP clip.
Yeah, sewer is like definitively right now the trickiest, most inconsistent clip in the game.
We are not going to be seeing it today, though, as Tylo obviously already picked up.
I think Tylo picked up the message.
Yeah, exactly. This time.
Tylo going for a little bit safer on the sewer movement, but I don't blame him. It is a little bit tricky to do the optimal movement here.
It is,
Oh,
as he
He
actually...
did accidentally activate the rotating green block, though.
Something you do not want to do. That actually disallows him from doing the very optimal strat there where you roll over and do one roll boost on top of it.
That roll boost is super scary.
Yeah, you need
Because
to
if
time.
that doesn't initiate,
You'll fall.
you're going down.
You're going down. Basically. Well, Dangerous is off to Festival here, which has actually kind of tend to be one of the scarier points in these races. Not precisely because it's such a hard part of the game, but dying in it is so scary. It's basically like a Ruin situation. Even though this is arguably, not even arguably, this is way harder than Ruin. It's way easier to die in the Festival than to the Ruin boss.
Yeah, I've died in Festival before.
Yeah, and I think you could definitely argue that this is definitely the harder thing to be fast at, like compared to the Dragon Ruin.
Yeah, because there's actually mistakes that you can make in your movement, messing up the barrel cycles. Can be very annoying.
Oh yeah, for sure. Alright, so Dangerous being in that last infamous room, definitely one of the scarier rooms. He is on 3 HP though, so I'd assume he's gonna be fine. He can
He's fine.
he can even damage boost here if he feels
There's
like
actually
being a
no
bit
way
faster.
that he can possibly die at this point. Yep, he's
Yeah.
good. Whoa, okay, wow, those blocks were clean.
This festival in general was actually very, very fast.
Yeah,
Very
I
nice
usually
to
have a
look at.
lot of trouble hitting one of the blocks, like, for some
Yeah,
reason.
and the game
the
actually
blocks
likes it
on
too.
them can be pretty finicky.
The game actually does like that a little bit. They're just not getting the multi-moon as fast as he wanted to, but other than that, this festival was definitely a juicy one.
That was a hot festival. Meanwhile, Tylo just started the festival. This gives us a good idea of the gap again.
Uh-huh.
Festival takes roughly 2 minutes to do, so I'd say about 1:30.
Yeah, and this is most certainly due to just a little bit of a slopper execution here in Metro, because he definitely did catch up over the night part of Metro. However, he obviously also had pretty big issues.
Yeah,
on
but the
his
day
multiple
Metro was a
times.
bit sloppy, and they both
Yeah.
struggled a lot with the scoot clip as well.
Yeah, mainly the scoot part. But yeah, we are gonna get into the World Peace exclusive section. Now, I guess that already started basically after, I guess, bench friends for in the case of Tylo here. But Snow obviously being vastly different than the 80% one. I think only getting like 2 moons, like 2 shared moons. I mean, I guess 2 shared moons unless you do
Snow
Snowdrun.
gets
Unless you do Snowdrun,
Yeah,
I guess.
the boxes. The
Oh,
chests
3, because
and
it gets
Shining
chested.
Snow.
Yeah. Yeah, so 3, I guess 4 if you do Snowdrum, but I'm pretty sure we are not going to be seeing Snowdrum here, even though Dangerous is the world record
We
holder.
might, considering the way the race is going. Who
Yeah.
knows? We'll see.
Tylo might actually gonna do it because he. No, I was actually trying to start speaking German there. Sorry. Tylo, I think from knowing Tylo and from watching his 80% runs, he would usually be the one to add the least amount of strats. Like, he wouldn't do turnip clip with a 105 on 1.0, or he wouldn't do swing slip just because he felt like he didn't need it. And that's why I'm definitely sure that he's not going to be doing a 2-second time save Snowdrum here.
Yeah, I'm
be
personally with the same boat with that type of playstyle. I usually don't add that many strats.
Oh, moonclip attempt.
Ooh.
Didn't look too good
It
for me.
looks okay. No, never mind.
Yeah, the up warp didn't look too nice, but Dangerous is going to be doing
To be
downstairs.
fair, I'm not very knowledgeable about the moon clip and snow.
Yeah, this one in general is very, very weird. But downstairs clip, however, is actually something that I really... This is the reason why I switched back to 1.0. This clip. Because
Really?
not only is it used in Darker Side, but it's also used in World Peace, and it's a lot faster than the upstairs version, and you don't need to learn moon clip. But this one on 1.2 is giving me nightmares. I feel like on 1.0 this clip is very easy.
Have you tried doing a thumb roll with Joy-Cons? Because that's what I do it.
Okay,
and I
that's
usually
interesting.
get it within 5 tries.
The thing is, if you ever tasted what 1.0 feels like, you're not going back as Dangerous is actually clipping there. But literally on 1.0 you do like 2 roll counts, you're in. But definitely taking a pretty big time loss here to this one.
Yeah, Danger's probably a little bit frustrated. That clip can definitely be a roulette at times. I can usually get it within 5 tries, though.
And I think this is something we haven't even gotten to point out yet, but clips in general, roll cancel clips, is something that Nintendo did try to patch out going into version 1.2. They didn't really succeed at it. The mechanics of the game still allows us to clip, but it's just way harder.
Tylo taking
first
the
try.
much safer upstairs approach.
Definitely my favorite clip if you are on 1.2. I think the downstairs clip is pretty easy on 1.0, but upstairs, very, very easy clip. You just need to do some, I guess, semi-precise out-of-bounds movement, but certainly catching up here a little bit.
I'm not the biggest fan of upstairs, not because it's, like, the jump that you do afterward can be slightly inconsistent, especially since I'm using Joy-Cons and I'm not used to playing the game with Joy-Cons. So, you know, like, Joy-Cons to clip anyway.
Alright, Agron. Another thing is interesting me very much right now, and it's gonna be your prediction here on Dangerous Race, and we're gonna get into Tylo later. But since Dangerous is a pretty seasoned World Peace run, I'm actually gonna be giving him the 55 here.
I'm gonna give him a 53-83.
Okay, so we're gonna be sticking with the 53 here, so even attempts, no decimals. 53 for you, 55 for me. Let's see who comes out ahead here. As Tylo's gonna be something, we're gonna give Tylo a 57. So 53 on 55 on Dangerous for me, 57 on Tylo.
56.
56.
42.
Okay. Yeah. Elgon definitely being hopeful here in these young racers. 53, definitely very, very solid time. But it might actually be... Nah, okay, I think I might actually be correct.
Ooh,
Dangerous throwing on the very last
Dangerous
finish line, actually denying me the prize
through
money.
my guess. Okay.
Jesus.
That's okay. Oh, Tylo had a really nice looking lap.
That
one.
first lap, 18 seconds on first, is definitely something.
18 seconds on... Okay, I honestly think I underestimated Tylo's bound bowl abilities.
I
here.
might have. This is looking very clean.
This is a very clean bound bowl.
Jesus, he's actually flying through the stage. I'm not even
Whoa.
kidding. 17, low 17 as well. This might as well be just
Low
a
17
52 or
second
something.
lap.
Oh, throwing it. Commentator's curse as he's just
Ooh.
flying through these curves.
All right, well,
The throw in the last round. This bound ball was
he
looking
had a
spicy.
really good first 2 laps, though.
Oh, 55. Another missed guess on our side. Let's see
All right.
how our people did on this one. But Dangerous doing the down throw there. Was it a down throw? Is Dangerous a Joy-Cons player? He's not a Joy-Cons player, right? Is Dangerous a Joy-Cons player? Because I think I saw a down throw there. And
I
pretty sure he's
don't
playing
believe
Pro-Con.
he uses Joy-Cons. Maybe he switched temporarily
that would be
to do a certain strat.
very interesting. Yeah, he did a down throw to the timer there. So that might actually, that's probably optimal because you need to fall down anyways, but would be interesting if you changed just
More
for
hybrid
that.
voice strats.
Can be
I'm
very
definitely
rough in some places.
considering just, you know, just becoming a complete hybrid boy when it comes to this game.
It does make sense. I mean, technically, I guess Joy-Cons would be the best way because you could fully focus, but sometimes they're just uncomfortable.
Joy-Cons are just really uncomfortable, in my opinion, to play for long periods of time.
Yeah. Dangerous is not going to be going for any Snowdome shenanigans here. He did get a first bite fish, which this fish can be a little bit mean to you. It's kind of...
Oh, the fish can be very mean.
I think actually
Tylo having a little bit of trouble with the rabbit,
Okay.
but he gets it.
Catches it right. I think I actually might have heard you, or maybe someone else, say that they got like an 8-bite fish or something.
Yes, I once got an 8-bite fish in one of my Darker Side runs. and I believe that is the most anyone has had.
Okay. These runners.
I'm pretty sure Bayleaf has also gotten a couple of 8 bites.
These runners getting blessed by Poseidon or whatever the like Philippine god is. Getting 2 first bites.
The Lakitu gods.
Yeah. GSA blessing these guys with the lucky 2 skips. And Tylo also not going to be doing any Snowdrams. Once again, Snowdram only saves like 2 seconds in this category.
Snowdram is not very reliable piece.
Yeah. Very high risk, very low reward for the amount of risk. But 2 seconds or 2 seconds, I mean, something that is a personal decision once again, but in a race, might not be the best idea. As Dangers is heading into Seaside, recently being rerouted, and if Tylo is not aware of the newest route additions to Seaside, he's actually going to be losing a pretty heavy amount of time considering how much the Seaside route actually saves for not being too hard at all.
I believe it's an
demanding.
8-second difference.
Yeah, that's what I've been told from you exactly, and he was actually the one timing the route pieces together there, and losing out on 8 seconds, and these 8 seconds are really easy to get, can be quite big.
Yeah, these 8 seconds are really easy to get. Like, you can just throw the route in without any practice of it, and you'd probably be okay.
Exactly. So Dangers probably being able to even save the Gushen there, which makes the route a little bit more optimal if you were to drop him the route, but potentially only even save like 6.5, but still very easy time save. But let's see, maybe Tylo is aware of it. I was just assuming that because he wasn't going for the newest
Of course.
save route.
Also, something to, add about the Gushen is if you drop him a little bit off of the camera, I'm pretty sure he disappears.
Yeah, or even if he's too close.
I'm not entirely certain on that.
Even if he's too close to the multi-moon, story moon cutscene. For some reason, it would despawn him.
Oh, okay, it's if he's too close to the story means that's what it was.
Oh, Tylo, unfortunately, taking a little bit too long to have his Gushen alive there, so he's going to be getting another one here.
Small time loss, but
yeah,
with how swift that movement was, he made it seem like not too much time loss whatsoever.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. And he did drop the Gushen there.
He did.
So, because usually you wouldn't do that, and you would just actually take the lower platform of the story moon thingy, and then fly over to the hot springs. And not fly over, like use the rocket flower to go over to the hot springs.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Ooh.
Wait, what happened to Tylo there?
So something that can happen with those switches is if like you can ground pound them, and then if you pause early for some reason, whenever you pause buffer in those cutscenes specifically, like there's like huge delay on when
Oh, the Joy-Con strat.
Oh, the down throw. Maybe they're both hybriding.
Yeah, I'm interested though, because Dangers did not go for this.
We're getting
down throw.
bamboozled.
And this is certainly a very, very powerful one. Because that's actually very fast. However, what I was going to say is that's interesting, that what you just brought up with the pause thingy, because actually it didn't even end up pausing. I've seen like JKB pause buffering there, like the pause actually going through, but for him, the switch just wouldn't activate. Looked weird at least, but I think it's known. As Dangerous is already fighting. Okay, attempt number like 16. No, wait, did he start with Lancer? No. Brigadier, Mollusk, Lancer, the third, Dauphine of Blobane. I mean, I think I'm getting close. I'm getting
I'm not
close.
even gonna try. His name's too complicated.
Jesus, I'm getting close. I'm for the finals or something. I'm gonna be ready.
It's too high IQ for me.
Yeah, but this guy obviously
not putting up with it.
Being very interesting.
He's getting the boss whip. Excellent.
Very interestingly named. Not going to be going for any fast rolling hits here, so just the fast Gushen it into ground pound. Definitely optimal boss fight. I mean, not optimal, but as good as it gets.
I definitely like how he immediately hit Mollusk, right as he was coming out of the wall. I usually wait a little bit, but I think that actually made it harder. So I think I'm probably going to be stealing that and just doing it immediately like Dangers just did there.
Yeah, we've seen people roll on that hot spring then and basically ground pound him through the hot springs, potentially even spin pound him in the future. Jeez.
That is a very risky strat.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen Kerbis go for it, but definitely, as you said, not too reliable.
I'm pretty sure that's a Neo idea.
Oh, for the spin
Maybe.
pound? No, I've never seen anyone go for the spin pound, but I mean, just
Well,
to roll it in general.
okay, well, I mean, like, yeah, not the spin pound, but just the strat in general.
Yeah.
Tylo is doing some very interesting things. I think he was just worrying the boss to make sure that it was going the right way towards the hot spring island.
Yeah, this boss is actually a science for itself.
Tylo missing the boss clip. He was not quite in the proper position to hit it. Ooh, okay. This is about to get very bad very quick. So what Tylo just did there was he didn't allow... Wait. Wait, did he take time to not stun the boss?
Okay, you can't actually ask me about boss clip shenanigans. I just tried to learn it like today, and I'm still not that confident with it. However, not taking the biggest of losses, we have seen this tournament kind of being very harsh on runners that are not fully confident with the boss fight, but probably not the worst of losses. Yes, Dangerous is not even opting for the Soul Trip, just playing it safe, the OG strat.
Anyways, what I was talking about there is if you don't leave time for the boss to move, which I thought I saw TiloTech did, the boss will just keep spinning all the way until it gets to the lighthouse. And that's what I thought he did there for a sec. But it looks like he was fine.
Yeah. Right, so pretty good start here on Luncheon for Dangers. Getting over there to the boss fight as Tyler's just finishing up Seaside after talking to Cappy for a second. Seaside pre-piece, probably one of the most relaxing places in the game. Sadly, we need to leave it immediately. No time to chill yet.
Curious what the gap is. Maybe minute 50?
Seems pretty massive, yet not unsurmountable, especially with some boss fights down the line.
It's definitely not over.
Yeah.
There are definitely still a couple more places in this run that can easily turn that.
Looking at you, Mech, and I guess also Cockatiel, which we have seen do some mean things, as she or he always does, or they, them, I actually don't know.
You know, I used to have gripes with Cockatiel, but recently it's not that bad. I think I finally got the hang of the third phase.
Okay, we'll get
to that soon enough.
Exactly, we'll get to that, and then we see how it's going to be today, because runners recently definitely have been having some issues in this tournament, at least. But then just going over to the lever here, hidden in the cheese to acquire another story moon, as Tylo's coming up to his first story moon here.
Now, Tylo is on 1.0, so I am curious if he's going to opt to try for the less optimal turnip clip.
I highly doubt it, especially because of the because of his mindset. We got to talk about this earlier, and once again, this turnip clip doesn't really say much, and he wouldn't even do turnip clip like the optimal one in any percent. So I highly doubt that he's going to be doing the one here in World Peace, because
probably not then.
Really weird setup. But we see, maybe he's surprising us.
Yeah, like you throw the turnip like across the gap after getting the turnip moon.
Yeah, and you need to do like a long jump into the turnip and then a triple jump, then throw, and then you like cap dive behind it. It's like weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit nuts.
It's a little bit turnip. Well, anyways, Tylo missing the fast strat. They usually want to be jumping on one of these wooden Pylon still being on low battery here. And actually, it looks like he does have a Pro controller connected right now on low battery, something we actually didn't even mention it, because he is currently playing on Joy-Cons, it seems like, so this shouldn't even be a problem for him.
Do we know that for sure, though? Like, he could just be hybriding.
I mean, I guess, but at least he has been using Joy-Con strats here, but you might be right. He might actually,
I guess worst case scenario is if he is using Pro and the Pro dies, he could switch to Joy-Cons to do the remaining.
He at least has them available to him.
Dangers finishing up the first half of Luncheon. Grabbing the meat multi-moon is kind of like a halfway point.
Yeah, and timer challenge being a pretty cool moon if you get it fast. However, the movement after it can be pretty weird. Dangers is going to be opting for the capless movement here, just a double long jump into a triple jump.
Yeah, that double long jump is pretty consistent from what I've seen.
That actually looks really good. Also, the way he used the fork to like vector over something that I'm going to be stealing once again, being pretty new to the category as well. So learning.
I mean, like personally, I've been doing double roll, but I don't think it's as worth it. Like, yeah, you get more speed, but I think the long jumps are just safer.
Alright. So Danger's taking a fall, they're taking damage. He does end up grabbing that checkpoint, which is going to refill his health. So no damage refill animations on this hidden story moon here, which is nice for him.
Yeah, this lava cave, like, the movement isn't very hard, but if something goes even slightly wrong, you could run into submission.
Oh yeah. Like that, for example.
Well, I mean, that wasn't necessarily bad, because there are Potaboos on the other side, thankfully.
Well, yeah, but still definitely losing time. Usually you can actually shake into the torch, but it is quite tight.
Oh, it's very tight.
And coming up on Tilo's screen is going to be the timer challenge. However, on Danger's screen, coming up is going to be the, in my opinion, best part of the run, which it's only
I'm
that
curious
part
if he's going to be doing that KFR movement.
Yeah, this is literally the reason I like this section so much. Not looking like it, though.
Not quite. Ooh. Okay, you might try it now. Oh.
Yeah, if you line up on this torch, it feels like it's the best idea to go for it, but he doesn't opt for it. Usually when we throwing against the wall, do like an
yeah, I recently decided to learn the KFR movement, since I did a lot of KFR when the game first came out. I still remember what the movement was, so...
Yeah, the best part is actually like after the fork where you...
It looks really cool, so...
The best part is surely after the fork where you do like the cap return jump and the spin pound up throw. Because obviously you don't do the full KFR movement here. In World Peace, it is slower to capture the Protoboo in RTA.
No, it's not the full movement, but it's the majority of it.
Yeah, exactly. However, actually the coolest part, which is like the spin throw at the end, is something we can't use because we do not capture the Protoboo. It is slower. Doesn't really matter. Dangers is off to Crocodile. First phase did look good. Second phase, usually something these runners can...
Yeah, the first and second phase aren't the things that people complain about with this boss normally. It is the third phase.
This boss fight is looking really good so far, so let's see if the first phase
really
decides
cool so far.
To mess with Odyssey. If he had gotten that hit instantly...
Besides the damage, it wasn't too bad. However, that was a 6 Kukateel. I believe the best is a 4. 2 hops off the best isn't too bad.
Yeah, definitely some showings of the hitbox being a little bit weird. Tilo going for this cap return jump there, not for the spin pound, but pretty sick side flip there. I really like that movement actually.
Yeah, Tyler did a vault across the gap. I usually opt to do that sometimes, at least before I learn the KFR movement.
If you miss, exactly. If you like miss the cap return jump, it is probably an easier and safer version. And let's see how it Crocodile behaves here versus Tylo first phase. Wait, why did he even take damage there? Was like a veggie spawning or something?
Yeah, what can happen there sometimes is Kukateel spits out the veggies early, and so you take damage when it doesn't look like there's anything in there. It's really strange.
Okay, definitely nice second hit. Once again, third phase is going to be the interesting one, though. Actually, very nice cooperative fight already. Again, this damage won't really matter much depending on how fast he's going to scale these third phase drops. Damn!
Excellent.
That's a really good fight. Definitely even actually a little bit faster than the one Dangers had, I think.
Yeah, that was a 5-hop, I think. Which is usually what I get nowadays. The 4-hop is the tricky one. It's really difficult to get that consistent.
Tylo getting blocked slightly by the little ingredient there in the pot. And Dangers is already off to fight the Ruined Dragon, which is certainly another point where he could lose his lead, because it definitely did grow one more time. However,
so at this point, the world peace parts of the run are over. We're now into any percent again. So I wonder if Tylo will be able to close the gap a little bit.
yeah, so the thing with Dangers is I'd usually give this to the any percent runner if it was like a very high level any percent only runner, like top 5. And nothing against Tylo.
Absolutely.
He obviously has a very respectable time, but I'm just thinking with the amount of world peace that Dangers has done, because he obviously also does these parts of the run, I don't see really that big of a difference here. The only difference that I'm going to be seeing right now, though, is this little Captain Toad, which is a 1-point exclusive hint that gives you some coins.
Yeah, you gotta play with the Captain Toad during the room fight.
But other than that, this fight, as we all know, not being the most exciting one of fights. Probably the most boring
Not
one.
too much happening right now. They're both in ruined.
Yeah. I hope Dangers is going to be able to release us here shortly, because he is on the third phase and he's going to be heading over to Bowser's Kingdom, which is still going to be kind of nerve-wracking for him, because even though his lead is quite big, if there's any kingdom that likes to diminish huge leads, it would be Bowser's Kingdom.
Bowser's is the kingdom where time loss is really big.
Yeah, it's like second name of the kingdom. I feel like Tylo is actually mainly a Joy-Cons player. I just see him do like another down for roll cancel thingy. Maybe he's like hydrating to Pro Controller at some points, do like roll cancels or something. Maybe he does it like the other way around. But once again, interesting. Joy-Cons are usually the optimal controller while not being the most comfortable one to hold, in the opinion of many.
Or maybe another thing that he was thinking about was that because this Pro Controller was low battery in the first place, maybe he just switched to Joy-Con for the rest of the race. Anyway,
yeah,
just in case, because like if that happens during like a bad part, like while you're fighting mech, that could be really bad. Just like the interruption of the battery dying.
I can see that. Really liked Tylo's second phase there. On the Ruin Fighters, Dangers is about to leave with a 107-20 split. That's going to be quite interesting to look at as Tylo finishes this one to estimate.
Yeah, Ruin will be a good estimate of the gap, since you almost can't lose time in Ruined.
Yeah, and if so, just a tiny bit, so it's
like
wouldn't really matter.
5 seconds at most.
Yeah, with like a bonk or something.
And that's like with a really bad fight.
Yeah, or like a bonk at the start or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Dangers starting out here in Bowser's, and I'm not sure if he's going to be doing the bird capture, but doesn't look like it. He's going to be getting the crate later on.
Now, that is interesting, because the bird capture warp is technically faster, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I think this kind of made like the round between people, because people were excited for it. It's definitely a cooler looking strat. And there was a point in time where we just basically had a clip available to us that had faster movement for the bird capture, so it was technically faster. But since then, Goyuya found a very crazy strat actually, where you roll cancel over the gap and then do like a triple jump. Equid showed it off in his race.
I don't think we'll be seeing. I do not think we'll be seeing that from either of the runners today, though.
Not today, for sure. I mean, we probably won't even be seeing it anymore, because Equid is like the only person to ever learn this yet. If you do this, Great is the technically faster moon. On average, though, Great will probably always almost be faster than then capture warp with the bird, but it's so close that it's purely personal preference. Like, it's so close, every single movement might make the difference, so it's literally personal preference.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to be switching to bird very shortly. Not because I'm bad at crate, but I don't know. I
mean, the movement after is scary for
bird
sure.
can be a little more consistent for me.
I feel like the movement after crate is definitely scary. However, what makes or breaks the time save of bird, the potential time save or the potential being close to the time save, is the movement from the bunny boss fights to the Pokio capture up top. And you kind of need a decent movement to make that work. But we are not going to be seeing that today because both of these runners opted to skip on that bird hidden behind the big wall moon.
We will be seeing normal, well, I guess you can say it's normal, since the majority do the crate.
That is true.
Hitting corridor under the 4 is the correct moon name for that, but...
The crate moon?
Yeah, the crate moon.
Ah, interesting. I'm learning moon names as we go.
Yeah, I'm sure Timpani's in chat, so I just want to make sure that I got my moon name right.
Dangers skipping out on the fast dive there, which is something that we usually see some 80% runners, so you can kind of dive out of that pylon quickly. Just going for the spin pound. This dive is pretty awkward though. You need to hold like down right, even though you want to go up right. But yeah, weird game mechanics. Tylo doing shards here. Not doing too shabby. As Dangers is fighting the bosses now, so these bosses are usually pretty lenient.
I mean, he lost a little bit of speed getting the 4th shard, but not too bad.
Yeah, for sure. Not the biggest time loss.
Definitely probably better than most of my shards. I am very inconsistent with shards.
You can easily argue that it's the most movement-intensive part of Bowser's Kingdom since it's such a linear kingdom.
Definitely.
But, yeah, it is definitely...
Not necessarily the hardest part. Well, I mean, that depends on what you consider hard.
Yeah, and how you do shards, because you can do shards like crazy, and you can do mech like easy, but if you do mech and shards to its maximum, like, the maximum what's possible, it's like very close, and probably once again, like, a personal thing.
Danger's not having any issues on Topper. I cannot say the same for me most of the time. That fight has given me a lot of issues recently.
Is surely the harder refight of the
Absolutely.
Of the two.
I think it's personally just because I have poor depth perception and I can't see exactly which hat is the correct one.
Yeah, and
but
then it's also
just a
pretty
personal
timing.
problem of mine.
It's also quite. It's also pretty punishing on timing. If you make your jump leg on the wrong time, you will take damage on one of the heads, and then he's going to be zooming out around the stage. It's going to be mean to you. But let's see how Dangerous gets his hidden floor behind the moon.
Ooh.
I forgot the name
That
already.
movement was very slick.
Hidden corridor. What is it again?
Hidden corridor under the 4.
Exactly, the hidden corridor under the floor moon that Dangerous just got, and he's going to be doing this blind jump. Just barely dodges the cannonball there, but makes it over. Alright, topper time for Tylo. Dangerous is going to be having all mech on his mind, though, since that's the next thing coming up for him, and probably one of the last things that really
Both runners
worries
not
him.
having any trouble with the Topper fight. Oh.
Nice. Commentators goes coming in hot.
Commentators curse. Dude.
Definitely no issues here for TiloTech. Definitely perfect fight.
Yeah, perfect fight. Oh, jeez.
Okay.
That was
Dangerous.
almost too well timed. Jeez.
Dangerous with the mech climb looked quite hot. No backflips, but interesting cap return jumps. So he's actually not going to be doing the very first spin pound hit on top, but he's going to be sniping.
Looks like he's going for my mech strats, at least my start anyway.
Yeah, I think this was the first version of the right side climb. So just ground pound over Topper. And he's not going to be going for any Harriet third shenanigans. Looks like he's setting up to hit Spirit here. And hits him.
Yep. That Spirit hit can be dicey sometimes. So the backflip strat that you taught me has definitely been a lot more consistent than any of the other strat.
Yeah, the falling down thing is giving me nightmares, so I actually also really like the backflip. I however, actually switched to Harriet third, which is actually on the same level of difficulty. So I actually would recommend it to people to at least try it out and see how hard it feels for them. It is really hard to make that final judgment call, to make that last hit, especially on good pace, but it is actually like on the same level of difficulty and is faster. But Dangerous definitely with a very solid mech fighter, you cannot be mad about this fight. And he's done here with Bowser's, basically.
Honestly, as long as you don't fall off mech, that's about as much as I care.
Yeah,
the optimization.
No, actually, truly though, especially in a race, like it doesn't really matter if you get these spin pounds. It doesn't really matter if you get any Harriet thirds. The one thing that actually, while still being on top of the mech, can lose you a bunch of time if you miss the spear hit and you have to wait for like the turnaround and all the 5 steps. That is quite slow. It loses like 12 seconds or like 10. Actually, it's actually a lot. But let's see how.
Still not as bad as falling off though. But yes,
it obviously,
a significant chunk of time. Tylo going for standard mech, Goryuya, strats.
Yeah, the fast spin pound there, and looks like he's actually going to be attempting. No Harriet thought that would have been very interesting to me, because as we said previously, he's probably one of the players with more consistent, and this is exactly.
Remember what we were talking about with that spirit hit limb?
Yep.
Oh no.
The falling down part. And he actually kind of got a little bit greedy there, to be honest. Like he actually could have just waited at this point for the steps, as we.
Yeah, he probably would have been okay in staying on the Okay. Oh,
Jesus.
What? Wait, what? Oh no.
Okay. Once again, got a little bit greedy there. Tried to hit Spirit as fast as possible.
I think what happened there was he took a little too long with the Pokio, so the mech started spinning.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He started walking again, so he couldn't really hit him. He makes it back up though. I think he's gonna be fine on this Harriet.
Meanwhile, Dangers is in Moon.
Yeah, and he had a very nice start. Very nice Moon vectors going over there. Also grabbing both.
Grabbing both of the rocket flowers. That's always nice.
Moon skip coming up. Standard, normal ground pound. Capstone on the wall. Definitely way easier.
That's pretty much how you.
No complaints.
No problem.
Probably gonna be looking at around a very lowish 120 time, as he's starting the or like mid 120 time as he's starting the bounce.
It's probably gonna be like a high 120 or a low 121.
It's all gonna be dependent on this fight, and also obviously the way he does escape. Especially the pillars room is actually a huge variable. You can lose like 10 seconds in that room without even noticing.
Pillar room can be rough.
But Tylo managed to end mech fight as we've seen previously, and Dangerous is at the final boss of the game.
Yeah, so it looks like the gap is about 2.5 minutes at this point. It's a little too big. I mean, to be honest, I shouldn't say anything yet. I think Dangerous is going to be okay here.
Yeah, what Dangerous really needs to do right now is just focus to close this one out. No memes, no multiple escape deaths, no missed Bowser faces. And that's like the thing he needs to avoid. Like, to be honest, if you die, imagine him dying to the D-skip here once. This is where it gets scary though. Like at this point, you won't trust yourself anymore. So
don't go for XD skip.
Yeah, go slow. To be honest, go slow to win at this point.
Oh man.
This is the lead he's been building up to. Would be a shame to throw this one away, as he does get the very last phase here of the Bowser's fight. And yeah, as we did say, potentially just barely looking at a very, very high 120, maybe being able to sneak this one in. Usually a very clean, almost perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a 125x or a 121.
Yeah, like usually like the BTT level escape just takes a little bit less than 2 minutes. So right now he's
taking a monk there on the ridge.
like 10 seconds to play with. So he might be able to make the 120 work. But Tylo coming up here, moon skip.
Looks good. There we go.
That's good for sure, as he does get it first try without too many issues.
Dangers entering 2D section.
Yeah, Dangers off into the 2D parts here. No 2D dev, gets it just right, manages to space the jump correctly, and is probably gonna be fighting for his 120 in the pillar room. It's gonna be very close, maybe just barely in reach here.
It's gonna be a very high 120 if he does get it.
Yeah, if he does get it, it would be like
it's gonna be clutch if he gets it.
Speaking about 58s and being clutch, shoutouts to Chaos Springer, by the way, breaking the any percent world record yesterday to get the first 1 hour flat time.
Oh, absolutely. I haven't seen the run yet, but
it was crazy.
Yeah, that is definitely hype.
They're just missing quite a few shots here. He did manage to end up breaking the pillar. So it might just not be in reach anymore, as Tyler's actually having
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see a 120 from Dangers.
Yeah, seems to be just barely out of reach.
At best, I think it's like a 120, 104 now.
And Dangers breaking. It's actually going to be super close. It might be like a 121 flat. By the way, I see Dangers. I need to talk to Dangers right now. He's losing like a second.
Oh.
Oh no! Imagine he lost it to that. Dude, I'm actually telling you what he lost it to.
120, 101. GG.
Yeah. GG's to Dangers here, taking the win. But yeah, I definitely need to talk to this guy in the post-game interview here, making a mistake that many actually don't even know about. Walking into the block as he slices down and actually losing some time off of that. But I mean, that's.
Wait, you can lose time from that?
Yeah, you want to be staying still if you hit something. Like also the thing at the bridge.
What do you know?
Like obviously here on these parts you usually want to be walking because you actually need to move somewhere. But if you slice on the final cube, or on pillars, or on the block like for the bridge, you want to be standing still.
Alrighty.
But yeah, let's see how Tylo does on the final parts of his run. Here definitely GG's. Tylo actually standing still here, making it work, and actually kind of showing how fast this is. But yeah, GG's to Dangers, obviously making it the third round. And this third one is going to be actually crazy because we will be having the most comfortable and confident runners, as Tylo kind of destroys his way to even try to de-skip. I'm not sure if he does it in runs, but almost looked like intentional, right? Like the way he destroyed the block. And can you really blame people? It feels like to de-skip kind of gets forced onto you because it's been like one of the most essential threats. However, it's obviously not the biggest time. So it's like 2 seconds and it's very, very close to the end of the run.
You know, it's just kind of in the history of this game at this point that you just kind of have to do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, technically, you don't have to do anything, but it's just kind of implied that you should be doing this.
It is the essential, like the core mechanic of a skip. You just skip a section. It is a shortcut. It's obviously not a skip, but you just make this little shortcut there, make these jumps. It just feels so right. It's not too hard. Nerves can mess with you though, so it's obviously optional, but
you know, like, I mean, to be honest, it feels natural after doing it enough, and then you try doing it.
Yeah, I would actually be struggling.
What am I doing?
I would be struggling with the normal movement. I wouldn't really know what to do. But Tylo slicing down these final bricks here. I think he's standing still, so he's actually saving a little bit of time over Dangers, as he probably is going to be ending up with the 123, 40 or just 39 here. Maybe even 38.
I think that is almost the same time that he got an R. I don't know for sure, but that is very consistent if that's the case. GG to both of the runners.
still gonna be a GG to both of the runners. Tylo actually only ending up 2 minutes and 30 away from the literal world record holder of the current category of this game. But we do have both runners joining. It's almost more interesting to hear their actual thoughts instead.
Absolutely. Let's hear their thoughts on the race.
So let me start with Dangers being the winner on this one. Dangers, GG's on the win.
Thank you very much.
How did it feel?
It's always good to win. I think the beginning I might have had some race jitters. There was a lot of spaghetti in the beginning, but I did pull out a pretty good finish. A lot of golds actually showing up on my splits here, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I think overall not a solid, or not the worst, I guess, not the worst showing I could have done for the first round.
No, definitely not. 121 is a solid time.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, I'm happy to come out with the win here.
Yeah, they're not only the final time is what matters, obviously also showing up some actually unseen strats as of right now, because obviously we are just getting into the second round and these seasoned players haven't really gotten to play yet. But I still think you're actually one of the very few persons to even attempt the full gate skip with the uproot skip.
The full gate skip
in a race, definitely.
That one scares everybody just because one false move in the deep woods. So it's very
and the thing
very
is,
risky.
Actually,
very punishing if you fail it.
That's something that you actually need to point out, because most people don't even know how scary this is, because this is obviously like a world peace, I guess Darker Side exclusive trick. So most people might not even know how easy it actually is to mess this up and land in the deep woods.
Yes, indeed. And just one false step, that ledge that I jump up to, if you are too low for it, you can actually bonk on the wall that makes up that ledge, and that'll be it for you. You're in the deep woods then. So
that is pretty much.
But yeah, to end things off, Dangers, I'm actually gonna gift you something, and it's gonna be around a 1 second of time save. Actually, I'm not currently completely sure if you're aware of this, but I did see you like walk into the very final block as you were slicing on it, and was kind of criticizing you because on our timer you ended up getting like a 121.01, which might not be as accurate because obviously of the delay.
Right.
But it's actually faster to just stand still and just start clawing on the block. It's literally faster. You get faster hits in, and especially on the block and like the block on the one where the bridge falls towards 2D.
Oh, interesting.
Gifting you some free time save on these ones as
Excellent.
the prize for this
I
win.
definitely didn't know about it.
I will gold moon next time. That's for sure.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's gonna be
clip. That's all I have to say.
Awesome, thank you.
But yeah, Tylo, let me get to you real quick, because I actually shoutouts to you. I did see you stand still on these slices, so definitely making these crucial time saves work. But yeah, I think you still, even though, like, especially in these parts between, what was it, like, between the mistakes, obviously, I mean, we won't really, I mean, we can talk about IP clip, but it happens to the best of them. But between that happening and like Night Metro, you were actually playing pretty well. I feel like you creeped up on Dangers consistently, but just tell me from your perspective about this race.
I mean, I was pretty down after IP clip, so I can say that. I lost 1.5 minutes to IP clip.
Oh, it was 1.5. Speaking of the IP clip, we noticed that you were using the right side of the pyramid, and you're on 1.0. It's pretty easy to just do the left side.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it pretty much, or I guess it might be a little bit easier, but it doesn't really matter where you do it. Like, you can clip through either way.
But it definitely works on both sides, but it's obviously a personal.
I'm almost certain it's easier to do on the left side in one.
Yeah, but the thing that kept happening to me is, there's a little slope there. So instead of ground pounding, I actually went on a roll instead. But I couldn't get a power roll, so I just bonked and bonked and bonked. And that.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
I got frustrated, and so yeah, that wasted me a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah, and you pretty much, you said what happened there. Like once you get these like missed inputs in, and they creep like into your muscle memory, and you keep getting these rolls, and that obviously keeps you getting more mad, and suddenly these time losses add up. And sadly, these clips are obviously a big part.
That's all.
And another thing I'm sad about is that I'm on 1.0. And yeah.
Yeah,
happens
just
to
because
the
they're
two best of friends.
just because they're easier doesn't mean that they are still free. That's for sure.
I guess.
Yeah,
But yeah, I guess so.
yeah, it's
You-
definitely an assumption that I feel like most runners can make, and then when they do the clips, it's just not quite, what it is. If you know what I mean.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's just disappointing because that's the first time I've actually spent that long on it in a run. Like I haven't even failed any runs that have got me that many tries. So
Yeah.
Well, you
it's
did
not-
end up getting a first try upstairs snow clip at least, which is obviously nice. And other than that, actually, your bound ball was like crazy until like the last lap. I don't know.
Yeah,
did
those
you,
first 2 laps were ridiculous, man.
have
I
you been
didn't-
playing any bound ball other than in like these categories, or like I'm actually curious.
I actually haven't, but I learned a thing or two from Timpani, so yeah, that happened.
Yeah, there you
Ah,
go. I saw this from Timp Stream once.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, huh, that'll work. Then like I kept going, getting decent times, at least.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah,
Pretty
I
much
messed
all
up
it
on
takes.
the last round. I didn't pay attention to what times I got though.
It was like
I
very
think
low
you got a high
17.
55.
Yeah, that was
I
like
know
with
I got
the 18
55, but
start
I
and like
didn't pay
17.
attention to the lap times. But
Yeah, first was like
Oh,
18,
yeah, the lap
second was
times.
like low 17. So it looked like a lowish 50 time, maybe like a 53 or something, 52.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
you were probably looking at a mid 53,
yeah, that would have been insane.
Yeah, pretty.
which is what I
cool
normally get.
stuff.
So
Agron obviously showing off here with
Yeah.
this average 53 bound ball skills.
I know, right?
Still died to Torque Drift, so it didn't even matter.
I know, right?
No, I'm kidding. I mean, I obviously lost my race as well. Anyways, Dangers, however, did actually end up winning this one, obviously, so he's going to be going into the next round. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even know his opponent yet, because as far as I'm aware of, this is the first round 2 match.
Indeed.
So he will be seeing how his potential upcoming opponents are going to be playing in this upcoming week. So you guys better stay tuned. Hit us up with the follow. Obviously, also you should be following these runners as they go onto their journeys, trying to improve their times. And thank you guys so much, by the way, for racing with us. It was a lot of fun to commentate. I want to thank you for staying with me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Very fun to commentate.
One off. Yeah,
Can't
I had a
wait to
lot
do
of
it again
fun.
tomorrow night.
Let's go. So make sure to follow, guys. Thank you so much for staying with us, and I hope to see you here very shortly again when we get the world to peace again. So see you guys in the next one.
Joy-Con for the win.